Oh, we're in. We're live. We're gaming. Alright, we're setting things up, and then we're going. Okay, I think we're good to go. Alright. So I've played a bunch of Ace Attorney. Haven't played Tyrion Cuthbert, Attorney of the Arcane, though. I did very much enjoy, what was it, the Ace Attorney Professor Layton crossover with the magic element in that game. That was interesting. So this should be a good time. I'm excited for this. Okay. So case selection. Interesting, you can choose to directly start from any case right off the bat. But obviously episode 1, case 1, we're locking in. The fields of battle are filled with suffering and despair. Oh, great start. On them are a clash of souls, souls brought to conflict by the corrupt powers that rule over them. I was transporting a client in my carriage that evening. We were driving by the McCoy Tavern when we heard a disturbance. Always a disturbance in the tavern. Okay. Man, we're right into it. Alright. Reese Rudolph. I was worried that something was amiss, so I walked into the building to see what the commotion was. There I saw the defendant. She was lit by the blue glow of the dining room lights, and she was stabbing the victim with her magical sword. Well, case closed. Guilty. We got him. Mr. Rudolph, you testified that you saw my client murdering the victim. And you supposedly saw her casting magic while doing so. Yes, I could never forget such a grisly sight. That moment was burned into my memory. I see. Well, it's funny that you say that. How so? Because your entire testimony was a complete lie. Get him, Tyrion. This is the first time I've ever seen you speak, but get him! My boy! Objection! Are you accusing the witness of perjury? Might be, possibly. Arya Steelwind? Surely you know that such accusations can't be made lightly, Mr. Cuthbert. My accusation is far from baseless, Steelwind. Think about the state of the crime scene at the time of the murder. The witness couldn't have seen anything, much less a homicide. He knows something. Okay, so looks like we have some sort of emotion seeing system. Maybe it's similar to something. In the Ace Attorney series, there was one, there was something like this as well. But it looks like we're just displaying it here, so this is surprise? No, more some sort of disturbance, possibly. But on this battlefield, there are still a few people who carry the ideals of justice within their hearts. But you have to wonder sometimes, are these ideals truly just? Or are they simply lies fed to us by our elders? Damn it. Okay. Alright, so, possibly stabbed with a magic sword. I would say that may be the cause of death here. Flintheart, you fool. Why couldn't you have just listened to me? Rudolph, I require your assistance. Yes, sir? By the Scaled Lord, what did you... You killed him. Alert the town guard. Tell them that you saw his daughter fleeing the scene. I'm sure their neighbors heard them arguing with each other. They'll immediately suspect her. At once, sir. Oh my goodness. How dare you? Truly the cold-hearted aristocrat. Earlier that day. Ugh. You feel yourself slowly succumbing to an unbearable pain. You don't think you'll be able to survive this much longer. Are you sure you're okay, Cuthbert? You look like you're about to pass out. Ruby Tymora, occupation attorney. Alright, is this our mentor figure? Don't worry about me, Miss Tymora, I'm fine. You've been riding in this carriage for days. You are definitely not fine. With each bump in the road, you feel yourself becoming more and more nauseous. It's taking every ounce of willpower just to hold down your lunch. I'm perfectly fine. If you say so. You feel the carriage drive over a large bump in the road. You can feel and hear your stomach retching in protest. That stew you ate for lunch doesn't taste nearly as good the second time. Oh, Tyrion, don't do it, dude. That's probably TOS, I'm not sure. On second thought, you take a deep breath of fresh air. It's the first breath you've taken today that hasn't threatened to come back out. Yeah, we gotta chill out a little bit, it looks like. Sorry about this. I didn't expect the roads in this town to be this uneven. I suppose they don't get a lot of traffic here. Been on the road with your mentor for days. Okay, yeah, the mentor figure here. So, hopefully we get some tips about how this game works. I don't know how experienced Tyrion is. Together you've been searching for a man named Flintheart McCoy. Supposedly he's been a voice of dissidence against King Olivier for the last few decades. You have no idea what kind of business Miss Tymora would have with him. But you know better than to ask questions about her affairs. No, dude, ask questions. We need to know more. Dive deeper. You're an attorney. That's your job. Hello, travelers. Welcome to Cornhaven. A local merchant steps out from one of the nearby shops. He has a wide smile on his face, and he approaches your carriage with the enthusiasm of a starving vulture. I'm sorry, sir. We have no money. Please have mercy. Would a pair of dignified individuals such as yourselves care for a refreshing drink? Those clothes, they must be from the city. He certainly has a friendly expression, but his thoughts seem very analytical. He's going for the sale. Well, I don't need a drink, but... Miss Tymora glances at you and your stomach rumbles in agreement. Of course, I've just the thing for an upset stomach. With a carriage like that, I bet I can fleece them for a lot. Yeah, okay. Okay, mister. I see right through you. Objection. To your honor. Send him to jail. His thoughts and emotions are laid bare through your Eye of Horus. Okay. But the merchant's expression doesn't betray a hint of what he's truly thinking. Well, I don't know. I feel like even if we didn't have the Eye of Horus, we could kind of see where this guy's coming from. You wonder if his false smile could get any bigger. At this rate, he might dislocate his jaw. How about 2 flasks of apple juice for 50 silver pieces? 50 silver pieces? You may find that price daunting, but this is organic and fresh-made apple juice. It's just the store-bought juice, but I bet they can't even tell the difference. Out of the corner of your eye, you spot an empty bottle of store-bought apple juice. It is resting on a table inside the merchant's shop. Oh. We're about to hit him with the evidence, dude. We're about to present him, yell objection in his face, and haggle this price down. Store-bought apple juice has been added to your notes. Okay, mental notes. We got our brain memory here. Okay. These notes are instrumental to solving mysteries and progressing through the game. Excellent. Trust me, it's worth the extra gold. Normally, the price wouldn't matter that much to you, but you don't appreciate being treated like an easy mark. Oh my god, he's activated, dude. You've activated Tyrion's trap card. You've started an argument with another character. Okay, so argument probably out of court sort of lawyering business, I see. Your opponent will make claims that you need to respond to. Okay, respond lower confidence. Okay, we got a little bit of a duel. I think you need to elaborate. You said that this apple juice is organic, but where is it made? It's produced by the hardworking people of this town, of course. Only trade organic products. In a small town like ours, we only deal with locally sourced products. Alright, we're gonna present our evidence. Boom. Store-bought apple juice. This isn't organic? You say that, but I can see an empty bottle of store-bought apple juice inside your shop. Why would you have something like that if you only deal with organic products? Oh, how did that get there? Okay. Make no mistake, I only have that because I wanted to see how my products compared to that of the city. And let me tell you, that mass-produced slop doesn't even compare to my product. What an obvious lie. This juice is worth far more than what I'm offering. Honestly, I'm offering you a very good deal. Interpreting during arguments. Okay, so now we're gonna read into his thoughts a little bit. Okay. Let's see. Oh, this is like LA Noire a little bit here. Logic, choose this option if your opponent's thoughts contradict something in your notes. So, similar to presenting intuition. If the opponent's thought contradicts their claim, so, you know, they're saying something and, you know, it's not what they think. Or empathy, the little emotional gauge. Okay, got it. Okay, excellent. Shows us there. This juice is worth far more than what I'm offering. I usually only sell this stuff for 5 silver pieces a flask. Okay, so that's gonna be intuition here. Sir, it's obvious those flasks are only worth 5 silver pieces. What? How did you... Well, it's clear you're a very shrewd man. I don't know, man. It seems like your business skills need some refining. Right. Argument 1. Oh, excellent. We're lawyering, dude. We're lawyering out here in the middle of nowhere. Flexing on all of these poor villages. Tyrion, you gotta have some sort of, you know, presence of mind to say, okay, you know, maybe we just buy the juice at 50 gold pieces, you know? It contribute to the local economy a little bit. I'm so thirsty. Out of the corner of your eye, you spot a child watching you from afar. Her eyes are fixed on the flasks of apple juice. How about 20 silver pieces for 3 flasks? Of course, sir. Alright, we give him a little bit of the deal. Kingdom of Wyverngard, established several centuries ago by the 7 High Archmages. The kingdom is currently ruled by King Olivier de Wyverngard and the mages of his nobility. Okay. Cool looking art. A walled city there. Don't know what's going on. How we... Maybe we should have built a harbor over here, team. We're just gonna wall all that in? Nobility will tell you that our marvelous kingdom is a land of prosperity and happiness, a land where its people share the wealth and succor provided by the kingdom's magic. Thank you. I haven't heard anything like this in years. Oh no. Yeah, okay, looks like the kingdom, maybe the cities are fine, but, you know, out here in the boonies, a little bit different. Didn't know you had such an eye for rural economics. Dude, that's what I'm saying, dude. You gotta contribute to the local economy, Ruby. You have no idea what's going on out here. You're stuck in your bubble. Tyrion has the presence of mind. Well, I suppose I just have a good intuition for this sort of thing. Or did you use another kind of eye? Don't get me wrong, your so-called Eye of Horus is an amazing gift. You should take every opportunity to hone it. But try to be more subtle next time. If I can see through you, others will be able to as well. I don't know, Ruby. I feel like the Eye of Horus, we're just gonna use throughout the game and no one's gonna say anything about it after this. Right. Anyways, I did some asking around while you were haggling. Supposedly, the McCoy Tavern should be north of here. If my tip is correct, this should be the place. Wait, this is the McCoy Tavern? With the state it's in, calling it a tavern is being pretty generous. You find it hard to believe that this has a secret meeting place for dissidents, but now that you think about it, maybe that's the entire point. The tavern has been shut down for years. Nowadays, Flintheart just uses it to host his rallies. Okay, so we got a little underground meeting place for dissidents. I wonder what sort of business Ruby's here on. We're going to his tavern, but, you know, for what purpose? Although I do wonder how they've been keeping themselves afloat for this long. Hey, you lot, the McCoy Tavern is closed! Gruff man approaches your carriage as you step out of it. He's eyeing you and Miss Timora, a clear look of contempt on his face. I take it that you're Flintheart McCoy? I am. What of it? Alright, Flintheart McCoy, unemployed. Oh no. At least put Tavern Master. Sorry for not writing ahead of time, but I'm Ruby Timora. I wanted to speak with you. Ruby Timora. Wait, the Ruby Timora? Any animosity he initially had immediately vanishes. Oh, she's a big shot. He lets out a laugh as if he were meeting an old friend. Why didn't you say so? Come on in! You didn't expect someone like him to know about Miss Timora, but you suppose it makes sense. They both fight against the same enemy, albeit in different ways. Ah, okay. So he's kind of anti-government dissident, and I'm assuming the whole structure of the justice system is going to be skewed very much so in the prosecution's favor here. Okay. Sorry about the mess, we haven't exactly been well. Anyways, what brings you here? I take it you didn't journey all this way to see my wrecked tavern. I'm here on behalf of a client. We have a proposition that you might be interested in. Is there anywhere where we could talk more privately? Sure, the kitchen is empty. Wonderful. Tyrion, stay here while I speak with McCoy. What? Don't you need my help? Tyrion. She doesn't need your help. She's the big shot from the city. There's no need for that. Like hell there's no need for that. If she's trying to make a deal with Flintheart, you can easily read his thoughts to help her. You desperately want to object, but she shoots you a stern look that causes you to freeze up. You slowly look away from her. Man, overpowered. Tyrion, you gotta hone your skills, man. Are you gonna get overpowered in a courtroom like that? And just say, oh, you know, fine, I guess they're guilty. Spend some time waiting alone in the tavern's dining area. It's already been hours since Miss Timora and Flintheart went to talk in the kitchen. You can hear faint murmurs from behind the closed door, and you've been resisting the urge to eavesdrop. But even from here, you can tell that their conversation is slowly becoming more frustrated. Uh-oh. It looks like they're going to be a while. Well, it's a good thing you always bring a chess set around. Dude. Tyrion, you're gonna sit here in the corner, playing with your chess set, memorizing positions. Oh, come on, man. You bring out the small chessboard you've carried around since you were a child. Oh boy. Chess can be played with one person. False. Wrong. Incorrect. You've always taken advantage of that. Checkmate. Congratulations, Tyrion. You've won and lost. You win against yourself, this time as black. I've played 10 games already, and I've won 7 out of 10 times as black. Hello? Girl dressed in red? Statistically, white is more likely to win. Unbeknownst to you, you're thinking out loud. So why am I performing so much better while playing as black? Hello? You still don't notice her, and you're verbalizing your thoughts just as fast as you're thinking them. Am I becoming overconfident as white because it is a first move advantage? Or perhaps that very advantage is affecting my choices and making me play in a suboptimal manner? If a personal quirk is making me play illogically, then I need to correct it. Hey! Ah! What? How long have you been standing there? It's about time you noticed me. I've been trying to get your attention for a while now. Oh, sorry. It may be too much focus this time, Tyrion. Okay, you're too focused. Do you know where my dad is? Your dad? Flintheart McCoy. I'm his daughter, Celeste. Hello, Celeste. Occupation mercenary. Alright, interesting. I mean, we already know from the beginning kind of what's going to happen in this scenario, but you know, we'll continue for now. Flintheart is speaking with my mentor right now. It's his mother. I wanted to show him something. Do you know when they'll be done? I don't know. They've been speaking in the kitchen for a while now. You hear Flintheart and Miss Timora's voices getting louder and more frustrated, but Celeste doesn't seem to notice. Her eyes seem to be focused on your chessboard. This is chess, right? Are you playing against someone? Oh, I'm playing against myself, actually. Tyrion, this is... My God, this is not a good look. This is when you say, oh, you know, I'm just evaluating a position or something. Playing by yourself is a little bit sad, man. Oh, that's... You feel a judgmental stare. Playing alone helps me develop new strategies. Let professionals do it. Hey, I'm not the type to shame a man for playing with himself. Phrasing? Phrasing? Relax, I'm just joking. Anyways, if you're still waiting for your mentor, do you want to play a game? Oh, you know how to play? Sure, I've read about this before. She's read about it. This table is so dusty. Celeste takes a seat on the other side of the table. Alright, Tyrion, if you manage to lose to her, man, you know, self-confidence through the floor, shattered, game over, never going to recover. You better pull out a win here. She tries to set up her side of the board, but fumbles with the pieces. She stares at one of them confused. How do I arrange these things again? A part of you regrets accepting her challenge, but it would be impolite to back out now. Here, I'll arrange them for you. Nice. Checkmate. You defeat her at 2 moves. not 2 moves, dude. Come on. Oh, you're really gonna scholars mate her. Come on, dude. Wait, what? Already? How did you do that? You decide against telling her what the name of that mate was. Rematch me. I want a do-over. Sure, why not? It's not as if you have anything better to do. Come on, Tyrion. Why don't we be a gracious opponent? Teach her some of the moves. Celeste's brow furrows as she tries to decide on her next move, but she hasn't realized that the game is already finished. Oh my god, dude. Mr. Main Character over here adjusts glasses. You've fallen into my trap. I can see checkmate in 10 moves from now. Here! She moves her knight into a position to attack your queen. It should have stopped your assault on our king, but checkmate. A scholar's mate this time. What? Come on, how do you keep doing that? You look at the closed door to the kitchen. Flintheart and Miss Timora's discussion is becoming louder. Wonder what's going on in there. Doesn't sound like they'll be done anytime soon. Again, I'll definitely beat you this time. For someone who had clearly never played before, she's quickly improving with each game. Well, that's good. You gotta teach her the basics a little bit, Tyrion. Gotta give her a little bit of guidance here and there. It's impressive she's observing your strategies and adapting them to her playstyle. Yes, overcome the master. Celeste, become a stronger Tyrion than he could ever have been. With the way she's playing now, she could even defeat a nationally ranked noble. Wait, that quickly? We're at the pro level? How good is Tyrion? Checkmate, but even so, you've been playing this game for a lot longer than she has. How are you always one step ahead of me? It's like you're reading my mind. Ooh, uh-oh, busted. As if you'd even need to. Just one more game, I'll get you this time. Hello, Cuthbert. Oh, we're done. Miss Timura emerges from the kitchen with Flintheart. They both look mentally exhausted. It looks like negotiations didn't go well. Uh-oh. Hi, Dad. Oh, hello, sweetie. Flintheart looks irritated, but as soon as he sees Celeste, he quickly hides it behind a smile. You wonder what their discussion was about. Yes, I do wonder. This whole time, you know, we're here, not told why we're here. Need a little bit more detail. What's this? Some kind of game? Miss Timura glances at pieces on the board. Don't feel too bad about losing to him. He's nationally ranked. Oh, you're a professional. Is that why you're wearing a suit? No, chess is just a hobby. I'm actually a defense attorney. An attorney? Yes. Attorney of the Arcane, you might say? A little title drop? No? Okay. Speaking of which, we should probably be on our way. Sorry for refusing you after you came all this way. I really respect what you're doing, but I don't want anything to do with your mage friends. Aww. We're sad. He doesn't like the mages. Was Miss Timura trying to introduce him to one of our clients? Anyways, it is getting late. If you leave now, you won't get back to the city until morning. She's right. This region is littered with bandits and brigands. You wouldn't want to run into them this late. I guess you have a point. We have plenty of empty rooms that you can stay in until morning. It's the least I can do after you came all this way. Oh, what a nice guy. It's not too much trouble. We might as well stay in here until tomorrow. We definitely won't get wrapped up in any sort of, you know, situation or anything where anyone gets murdered. No. I'm sure everything will be fine. The tavern is shut down, but we still have some sheets and blankets. I'll go get the rooms ready. Thank you, thank you. Celeste and Flintheart leave the dining area to get your rooms ready. Dude, this track is good. I like the jazz in this game. Definitely groovy. You're left in the dining room with Miss Timura. So, I take that the negotiations didn't go well. No, I didn't expect him to be so stubborn. Honestly, I have no idea what that man has against mages. Well, there is one way to find out. Why are you being so secretive? If your business with Flintheart is related to our clients, I can help. It wasn't important, and your presence was not necessary. Man. Come on, we're getting the shutout. Such an obvious lie, but you can't read a single thought from her mind. She's had years of practice hiding her thoughts from the Eye of Horus. Interesting that you can hide your thoughts from it, I'm assuming if you know about it. It's an interesting mechanic. I wonder if that'll come up later, where a character, maybe someone like her, or a character, you know, related to Tyrion in some sort of way, is on the stand as a witness or something, and you have to take that into account with the Eye of Horus. Celeste enthusiastically came back downstairs, but she seems to have noticed the tension between you and Miss Timura. Sorry to interrupt, but your rooms are ready now. Right, thank you. An awkward silence hangs in the air as you and Miss Timura head upstairs. You reach the upper hallway and see the two rooms that Celeste prepared for you. Miss Timura stops before entering her room. You were playing chess with Flintheart's daughter earlier. Was she any good? Not at first, but she got a lot better as we kept playing. I'm sorry for leaving you there so long. I didn't expect our discussion to last that long. No, it's fine. Despite everything, I enjoyed playing against her. I see. Well, I suppose you are at that age. Oh, Tyrion. Tyrion. No, it's not like that. It's just outside of tournaments. I never really get to play it against any other player. And, you know, I'm committed to my work right now. I'm not at the age for a relationship. You know, and she's not my type. And, all right, mister. And you only ever want to play shogi against me, because shogi is clearly superior. It's complete anarchy is what it is. You just bring fallen pieces back to life like some sort of necromancer. It adds depth. Dropping adds a dimension of play that isn't present in chess. You sternly look at each other, your positions already made. After a few moments of silence, you both burst out laughing. I'm sorry if it looks like I don't trust you. I know you're just trying to help. But there are some things about my work that I just can't tell you about yet. But one day, I'll tell you everything. Right, I'm sorry for prying. Alright, Miss Secretive Character. I just want to show you I'm ready to be an attorney. You are, I know you are. Your air praise from your mentor catches you off guard. Anyways, get some rest. You should mentally prepare yourself for the journey tomorrow. Right. You completely forgot about the carriage ride back. Oh no. Tyrion, you gotta find some sort of magic that can help you out with that, man. You can already feel your stomach churning in protest. You lay in the bed that McCoy's prepared for you, and as you close your eyes, you slowly drift into a deep slumber. As this happens, you feel something invasive. Your mind drifts away, and you feel yourself being pulled elsewhere. You find yourself in a surreal and unsettling landscape. Is that the Eye of Horus? Are we communing with our power? You're fairly certain that you're dreaming right now, but some instinct in the back of your mind tells you that something is fundamentally wrong about this. Oh, hello. Eye of Horus, is that you? You see a woman in the far distance. She's staring directly at you. What presence? She's murmuring something, but you can't quite make it out. Is she trying to say something to you? Finally found. I finally found you, Heavensborn. Oh no. There's some stalker character that's appearing in his dreams. You're jolted wide awake. You can't exactly remember what that woman said to you, but whatever her words were, they sent a piercing chill down your spine. Your breath is heavy and your heart is beating at 100 miles per hour. Calm down, it was just a dream. Definitely just a dream. I wonder who that person is. I wonder if she just appears in his dreams, or if she's like an actual character. At least that's what you try to tell yourself. Please, just let me explain. I don't want to hear it. You hear the voices of Celeste and Flintheart ring out from downstairs. It must be extremely late. What could they possibly be arguing about at this hour? I want you out of my house. Out! A dead silence lingers in the air before you hear someone rush out of the tavern. Whoever left slams the door behind them. What was that all about? It's none of your business. You only met those two yesterday. It'd probably be best not to get involved in their affairs. Fade to black, credits roll. You know, thanks for playing Tyrion Cuthbert, attorney of the Arcane. What are their affairs about? As you tell yourself that, a brief image of Celeste's smile appears in your mind. Damn it. You slowly make your way out of your room, but the hallway is near pitch black. You can barely see a few inches ahead of you. You have to watch your step to avoid tripping. Okay, so it's dark. Noted. Flintheart McCoy. You run into Flintheart, who is slowly walking up the stairs. Even this close, it's hard to see his expression in the darkness. Sorry, I just heard. Right, I forgot you two were. His words trail off. Is everything okay? Oh no, he's sad. What? I want to know exactly, is this like distress, the purple? Sorry, I'm just going to... You awkwardly shimmy past Flintheart to head down the stairs. He doesn't move out of your way. It's clear his mind is elsewhere. You arrive at the dining room, but you don't see Celeste anywhere. Honestly, though, it's hard to tell with how dark the room is. Celeste? Are you still here? You don't receive an answer. You remember hearing someone slam the front door earlier. Your eyes are drawn to the tavern entrance. Celeste? And we're going searching. Go find her, Tyrion. Ugh. It's the merchant. He's got a lantern, okay. Irritated by all the noise. Oh, you're that kid from before. Do you have any idea what time it is? This isn't the city. You can't just make a bunch of noise like this. Right. Sorry. I was just looking for Celeste. Who? Celeste McCoy? She's Flintheart's daughter? The merchant's expression becomes a little colder. Do you know them? What do you want with that bastard? That damn mage. Okay, he doesn't like the mages either. And then, I guess Celeste is a mage? Based on that thought? I mean, obviously, Flintheart is not going to be a mage if he's, you know, so against him. Those two probably woke up half the street with all their yelling. I don't need you keeping us up too. If I hear any more noise, I'm going to call the town guard. Yikes! Before you can get a word in, the merchant walks back into his home in a huff. Honestly, though, fair. Very fair. You look around, but you still don't see any sign of Celeste. You decide to continue searching. I can't believe I said those things to her. Come on, Flintheart. Get a hold of yourself, man. She'll never forgive me for this. I see your temper is as short as ever, Flintheart. You! Honestly, how do you live in this darkness? Lucio. Luxo. I don't know. I don't know what the pronunciation is. We're gonna roll with something. What are you doing here? And how dare you bring that witchcraft into my home? You've been busy lately. Your little growlies have gained quite a lot of support. Too much support for my family's liking. And what, you came all this way to convince me to stop? You have my word. If you stop spreading dissidence, no harm will come to you or your family. Ha! Your word is as good as the dirt you lick off of King Olivier's boots. As if I'd ever trust the words of a murderer like you. Flintheart, please. As someone you once called a friend, I'm only going to ask you one time. Friend? Friend? I'll be dead in the ground before I ever call the likes of you a friend. Get out of my house. I don't have time for your nonsense. Unfortunately, I don't think you'll have much time for anything. Uh-oh! Ah! Oh, yep, he killed him. Oh, yep, he's... Flintheart, you fool. Why couldn't you just listen to me? Rudolph, I require your assistance. Yes, sir? By the Scaled Lord, what did you... You killed him! Alert the town guard. Tell them that you saw his daughter fleeing the scene. I'm sure their neighbors heard them arguing with each other. They'll immediately suspect her. At once, sir. Damn. Rudolph, you just gonna go along with that? You've been searching for Celeste for a while. How long have you been outside? 2 hours? 3? How long it's been, it's clearly taking a toll on you. Man, that's a long time to look for someone who just kind of ran out of their house in a bit of a huff. I'm sure she's fine. Where is she? What am I going to do now? You hear a faint voice. Could it be? Oh! As you peer behind an old tree, you finally find her. She looks just as tired as you are, probably even more so. Her eyes are puffy and red, but she's doing her best to hide it with a smile. I've been looking all over for you. Oh, sorry. I'm guessing we woke you up? Yeah. Is everything okay? Clearly not. But, it's nothing. It was just an argument. Oh, Celeste, when you have to say it's fine, but it's really not. But from the way she reacted, this is clearly not common. You suppose that it's none of your business. You decide not to pry further. Have you been looking for me all this time? I have. Thank you. But I'm okay now. You should head back. What about you? I think I'm going to stay out a little longer. You know that you should mind your own business, but I'm sure whatever happened between you two, it's nothing you can't talk out. It doesn't happen a lot, but sometimes Miss Timora and I get into fights too. But no matter what happens, we were always able to talk through it. Sorry, I know it's none of my business, but No, I really appreciate it, thank you. Nice moves, Tyrion. Oh, we got the happy emoji. Let's go. You're right, let's go back. Unfortunately, not going to be happy for long. I suspect. What? You arrive back at the McCoy Tavern, but it's now surrounded by several carriages and knights clad in plate armor. Is that the Inquisition? Man, they got the Inquisition in this game. Okay. What? The Arcane Inquisition. They're an order of knights that investigates crimes committed using magic. As you say the word crimes, you and Celeste share a glance and come to the same realization. Both of you rush towards the tavern, but Celeste outpaces you by a large margin. What? No! No! She reaches the tavern before you, and before anyone can stop her, she takes a look inside the inn. No! No! Whatever she saw makes her cry out in anguish. She drops to the ground in tears. There she is! Oh man, look at this guy. Celeste McCoy, by the authority of Ivengard Crown, I'm placing you under arrest. Orem White. Oh no, dude. It's all coming tumbling down. Surprisingly, she's able to break free from his grip and tries to push further into the tavern. Noticing the commotion, 3 other knights rush to grab her and begin dragging her away. Oh no. Even between the 3 knights, it's taking all of their strength to subdue her. What are you doing to her? What is going on here? Tyrion! Miss Tymora approaches you. You breathe a small sigh of relief when you see that she's okay. Miss Tymora! Bah, I should have known that he was one of yours. Just stay out of our way. Miss Tymora, what's going on? Why is the Inquisition here? I'm surprised myself, but from what I understand, Flintheart McCoy has been murdered. Murdered? Alright. We'll see. I think at this point, okay, we're getting into the actual court section, or are we going to do a little bit of investigating? You follow the Inquisition back to the city where Celeste is being detained. According to Miss Tymora, Celeste was the prime suspect in Flintheart's murder. Well, makes sense. And due to the supposed nature of the crime, her case would be pushed to trial immediately. But many elements of the situation still don't make sense. The Inquisition only investigates crimes committed using magic, so why is Celeste their prime suspect? Could she be a mage? This is ridiculous. She has a right to speak to an attorney. Anyways, you find yourself met with another hurdle, a very frustrating one. Yeah, well, we can't let you see her until she's been processed. Her trial is in an hour. How has she not been processed yet? I don't know what to tell you, kid. I wish I could help. You don't need to use the eye to know that's a complete lie. So you're really planning on defending her? Do you know she can even afford a lawyer? I just can't stand here and do nothing. You saw them, didn't you? There's no way she would murder her father like that. I know that look. I was saving this for a special occasion, but... Oh! The Attorney's Runestone. Magical runestone that allows you to take pictures of crime scenes and write notes telepathically. Ooh, excellent. Every attorney has one. It's almost like a badge for them. Attorney's Runestone has been added to the notes. This is an Attorney's Runestone. If you're going to defend her, you're going to need one. You begin to tear up. You've wanted one of these ever since you were a child. It's basically a badge of honor for attorneys. Okay. I can see the nods to Ace Attorney where, you know, you have a badge in those games, right? And you present it to random people. And they say, well, nice badge, dude. Why are you showing this to me? Get out of my face or something like that. Don't cry, Cuthbert. Sorry. Anyways, keep one thing in mind. If you try to defend her, the Inquisition isn't going to fight you fairly. Our court system only exists to create the illusion of justice. They hate people like us, and they'll do everything in their power to sabotage you. Yep. They're not gonna let us do this easily, huh? Oh, what's with all the noise? You're that knight from the tavern. That's Commander Orem White to you, kid. Occupation, knight. I had a feeling Tymora would be sniffing around this case. But I didn't expect her to send a kid to do her dirty work. Hey man, I'm a defense attorney. Cool your jets, alright? Commander, he says that he wants to talk to the mage. And she's got a right to an attorney, doesn't she? Well, she hasn't been processed. Commander White looks confused for a moment. They'll kinda, oh my, he's mad. Let him through, you idiot. Yes, sir. The knight leads you through the halls of the dungeon. Something built in the capital looks extremely old and decrepit. Oh, okay. We got more negative emotions from the prisoners. Okay. Heavy and almost crushing feeling. You've always had to avoid crowded places because of how sensitive you are to people's thoughts. You've never felt this much concentrated despair before. Uh-oh. Oh, it's you. Yes. We've come to save the day. Tyrion Cuthbert at your service. Celeste is lying down on the cold floor in one of the dungeon cells, but she immediately gets up as soon as she sees you. What are you doing here? Miss Timora told me about what happened to your father. I'm so sorry. I just don't understand. I don't understand any of this. Why would someone do this? And why are they blaming me for it? I'm not sure about the details, but it's clear that there were elements of magic involved in what happened. Since they arrested you based on that evidence, I can only conclude one thing. Celeste, you're a mage, aren't you? Yeah, okay. Got him. There's no sense in hiding it anymore. Yes, I am. Do you have noble blood? Of course not. Why would you say that? Alright. So, she doesn't like the nobles. But magic is... okay. Interesting. Magic is hereditary. McCoy is... her late father is not going to be a mage. So then her mother... most mages tend to have some kind of noble blood. I honestly don't like thinking about that. I am the daughter of Jolene and Flintheart McCoy. That's all I need to know about myself. It'll be best not to push the matter further. Okay. Maybe she's not actually the daughter of those two. Anyways, you were probably arrested because you're a mage. What? A crime was committed using magic, and you were the only mage around at the time. Is that seriously the only reason? I only know how to cast one spell. The Arcane Inquisition doesn't care about the truth. They care about closing their cases. Oh, yeah, okay. Celeste, your case is being pushed to trial. You're going to be brought before a judge within the hour. What? No one told me anything. Oh no. This poor kiddo. If you'll have me, I'd like to be your defense counsel for the trial. Right, I forgot that you were an attorney. Would you really do that for me? After everything I've seen them do, I can't just stand by and do nothing. Let's go, Tyrion. Alright. You got your sense of justice. Go get them, man. But they're a part of the kingdom. Do we even have a chance? It's hopeless. Celeste, man, king, or god, I won't let them do anything to you. Okay. You're a little heavy, Tyrion. Cool your jets. Professional. Professionalism. Sorry, it's just something I have a habit of saying. Keep your wits about you, man. No, don't apologize. I really appreciate you doing this. It's clear the entire situation is bittersweet for her, and because of the Inquisition's delays, you haven't had any time to investigate the crime scene. Oh no. You were confident before, but you begin to doubt whether or not you can really do this. Everything is happening so fast, it feels unreal. No, you have to do this. This is the exact reason why you became a lawyer. No matter what happens, you'll acquit Celeste. Alright, a courtroom. I'm in a real courtroom. Wait. Tyrion. No, this can't be your first trial, man. I know that, you know, he only received his badge a little bit before this, but come on, you haven't sat in on any trials? This is the first time? Actually, entering the courtroom has taken a lot of wind out of your sails. You've never been here as an attorney before. You've only ever acted as Miss Timora's assistant. Well, okay. Okay, fine. We're good then. Arya Steelwind. The woman at the prosecution's bench is staring at you. Miss Timora mentioned her before you went to see Celeste. What was her name again? I think it was Arya Steelwind. Occupation, prosecutor. I like her design. Very unique, very interesting. You can feel the coldness of her glare burrowing into you. Why is she staring you down? Is she trying to intimidate you? Possibly. Because it's working. Oh. Court is now in session for the trial of Celeste McCoy. Mr. Occupation Judge, age 80, arcane art, none. Okay, so list the little arcane stuff. The prosecution is ready, Your Honor. Arcane art, evocation. Arcane art, none. We don't have the Eye of Horus? Oh, the defense is also ready, Your Honor. He doesn't necessarily sound very ready. It's true. That's very true. We're not ready at all. Regardless, let's proceed with the proceedings. Prosecutor Steelwind, please list the charges. Defendant is Celeste McCoy, a mercenary for hire and a registered mage. Wait, did she just say mercenary? Yeah, I had to take up a job after my family's tavern was shut down. Arcane art, transmutation. Okay. Transmutation. Interesting. Oh, right. That's not exactly the first occupation you'd choose. She's charged with second-degree murder and negligent misuse of the arcane arts. I see, so there was magic involved. Yes, the crime occurred within the McCoy Tavern, a local inn that shut down years ago. Though locals reported hearing a loud commotion coming from within the building. Hours later, a carriage driver that was nearby checked the disturbance. It was then that he found the victim, the defendant's sword still impaling the dead body. The Inquisition has provided an autopsy report and a record of the sword. Alright. Died after being stabbed from behind with a magical blade. Fatal wound shows heavy traces of transmutation magic. Well, you know, the fact that Celeste McCoy can use transmutation magic, not a great look. Not a great look right off the bat here. Celeste's sword, well, that's a little, we're really naming it that. The alleged murder weapon. It's an ornately designed sword, but it has no magical properties. Interesting. So no magical properties. Does that mean that it wasn't created with magic, or that it was created with magic but doesn't have anything special going on with it? What was the defendant's relationship with the victim? I see that they share the same last name. The defendant is the victim's daughter, but not by blood. Uh-oh! She was adopted into the family when she was an infant. Her birth parents are currently unknown. I see. What an unfortunate turn of events. Is she going to be the daughter of that question mark man that actually killed Flintheart McCoy? Guess we'll have to see. To begin, the prosecution would like to call Commander Orm White to the stand. Alright, excellent. Give us a little bit more information about the case. Witness, please state your name and occupation for the court. Name's Orm White. I'm the commander of the Arcane Inquisition. Orm, could you please testify about the details of the Inquisition's investigation? Yeah. Oh, here we go. Witness testimony. We got a call late at night. Someone discovered a dead body inside the McCoy Tavern. When we arrived on scene, we found Flintheart McCoy dead on the floor. The defendant's sword was still inside of him. We have several witnesses who heard the victim and defendant in a loud argument before the body was discovered. Their argument must have turned ugly because the defendant killed the victim using her magic sword. Isn't that really incriminating? A little bit. One of her possessions is the murder weapon. Oh no, Mr. Cuthbert. You may begin your cross-examination. Open your mouth to respond, but nothing comes out. Tyrion, don't drop the ball here, dude. You can't think of anything to say. Everything is blank. Mr. Cuthbert! Hey, what are you doing? This is the part where you say something, right? I'm sorry. I don't... This is definitely the part where you say something. She's more of a lawyer than you are right now, my man. Your anxiety is just getting worse and your breaths are becoming more and more desperate. Are you hyperventilating? What a disappointment. I was hoping to fight against the infamous Ruby Timora today, but it's clear you can't even hold a candle to her. Your Honor, it is clear the defense has nothing to say against the prosecution's overwhelming evidence. Yep, this case is pretty open and shut. No, wait. This isn't what's supposed to happen. I'm sorry, Tyrion. I couldn't acquit Frey. She was found guilty. What? But that means... Are they going to execute her? No, not again. Are you seriously going to let that happen again? Frey. Okay. Someone named Frey from Tyrion's past got executed. Tyrion! Celeste grabs your shoulders and shakes you out of your panic. You need to calm down. Her gaze is calm and focused, despite the gravity of the situation, but she looks stern, not angry. I'm sorry, I didn't mean for this to... Stop. Just listen to me. You know what to do, right? Just do it the same way you play chess. What? I don't know. You were just so calm and focused when we were playing before. No matter how close I got to beating you, you always knew how to stay calm and win. So just channel that feeling and look at the pieces? That doesn't make any sense. And yet, you take a moment to focus and let everything else disappear from the world. Every statement that he made, every word that came out of his mouth. Each of those is a possible weakness that you can attack. Every bleak moment can be turned around. You just need to consider every angle. My apologies for the delay, Your Honor. The defense is ready to begin cross-examining the witness. Very well. There we go. Thank God that worked. Oh boy. Poor Celeste. Carefully examine every statement he made and find something that contradicts the evidence in your notes. Once you do that, present the contradicting evidence and prove that his testimony is false. Cross-examination. Alright. Here we go. Okay, examine each statement. Find the statement that contradicts a clue, spell, or profile in your notes. Once you identify the false statement, click the present button. Okay, let's check our notes first. Alright, clues, spells, profile. Okay, nothing in spells yet. The runestone isn't going to give us anything. Died after being stabbed from behind with a magical blade. Fatal wounds show heavy traces of transmutation magic. The alleged murder weapon. No magical properties. I wish that was a little bit more specific, but we'll see. Alright, Tyrion Cuthbert. Wait, occupation bodyguard. Thought we were mercenary. Employed knight, evocation. Okay, this is where you can present the arcane art from what it looks like. The biggest thing is probably going to be something related to the sword here. Heavy traces transmutation magic. Got a call late at night. Someone discovered a dead body in McCoy's tavern. Okay. When we arrived on scene, we found Flintheart McCoy dead on the floor. The defendant's sword was still inside of him. Let's get a little bit more info here. How did you know that the sword was my client's? Her sword is made out of some kind of special alloy. I think it was forged out of the country or something. It'd be hard to mistake something like that. He also has several eyewitnesses who verified that the sword belonged to the defendant. She made no effort to hide it from the public. Quite the contrary, she was quite proud to show it off. But even if the sword belongs to my client, that doesn't necessarily mean that she was the one who stabbed him. Yeah, well, there's several witnesses who heard the victim and defendant in a large argument before the body was discovered. How did they know it was my client and the victim that were arguing? You were there, weren't you? You had to have heard them too. Every witness we talked about knew it was them. Ah, well. Your Honor, it is clear the defense is playing devil's advocate. Even he should have recognized their voices. Okay, you got me. Yeah, they got me. The argument must have turned ugly because the defendant killed the victim using her magic sword. It has no magical properties. I think that's going to be what we present here. That's conjecture. Weren't there plenty of people around who could have committed the crime? That tavern has been closed for years. The defendant, the victim, and Ruby Timura were the only ones there before the body was discovered. Plus, the murder weapon definitely belonged to her. Well, it's a given that Miss Timura didn't do this, and it'd be hard to prove that someone else was at the crime scene, but you can't help but feel like there's something off about what he just said. Yeah. Shouldn't have panicked so much before. Yeah, straightforward. There's a flaw in his logic. Okay, I think we got it. Using her magic sword. No magical properties. Objection! Commander White, you testified that the victim was killed using the defendant's magical sword. Am I correct? Yeah, it's pretty obvious when you look at the crime scene. I think I'd actually have to disagree with you on that. The defense's sword couldn't have possibly been the murder weapon. My man, it was possibly sticking out of him, but okay, let's go. What are you talking about, kid? The sword was inside of his body. Of course that's what killed him. That may be the case, but take a look at the autopsy report. It states that the fatal wound had heavy traces of magic. So how would a non-magical sword leave traces of magic on the body? What? To leave a trace like that, the wound would have had to have been created with something magical. My client's sword may look fancy and expensive, but it is entirely mundane. Okay, so magic items leave some sort of trace, and that it's almost some sort of fingerprint for the item itself. Interesting. That doesn't make a lick of sense. If the sword didn't kill him, then why was it in the body? Yes, I find that quite strange as well. Well, there's only one reasonable explanation, Your Honor. Okay, so it was inserted after he died. The wound was created magically, and someone shoved the sword into the wound afterwards. Okay. The hell are you talking about? The defendant is a mage. She could have easily killed the victim using magic. That may be, Commander, but why would she kill the victim using magic and then stab him with her sword? She would just be incriminating herself. Let's go, Tyrion. No, if anything, this series of events proves one thing. Someone used magic to kill the victim, and they pushed my client's sword into the wound to frame her.
Objection!
Don't get ahead of yourself. What? Your Honor, the defense is trying to spin the facts in his favor. He claims that a third party committed the crime and used the sword to frame his defendant. But wouldn't the simpler explanation be this? Magic was being channeled through the sword at the time of death. That is what left the magical trace on the body. Commander, please tell the defense how the murder was committed using magic. What? Alright, alright. I think I see where you're going with this. Alright, so we're learning about the systems of magic. Tyrion should probably know this, but you know, I'll forgive it. As the player, we gotta figure this out. It's true that the sword itself isn't magical, but magic can still be channeled through it. Okay. So you can imbue items with magic. Got it. That defense over there, her spell compendium has a spell called Mage Blade. She must have used it on her sword before stabbing the victim. That spell is the reason why there were traces of transmutation magic on the wound. So her spell compendium contains a spell called Mage Blade. A spell compendium is a magic device that lists every spell a mage can cast. Luckily, Celeste's compendium only contains one spell. That means she can only cast that one spell. Celeste, you have your spell compendium with you? No, I left it at the tavern after, well, you know. Okay. It's unfortunate, but we'll have to press. Okay, yeah, we're gonna press some of his statements and get some more info. I wish I had the detail on Mage Blade, because if it's, you know, not imbuing and it's instead creating some sort of magical blade, then our point still stands. Press statements to acquire more information. Okay, what's important to press here? Spell companion calls a spell, has a spell called Mage Blade. Mage Blade? It's a transmutation spell that sharpens my sword. Okay, so it is imbuing. I usually use it when I need to cut through an enemy's plate armor. I didn't realize that she led such a lethal lifestyle. But anyways, wouldn't it be excessive for the defense to use a spell like that on the victim? He wasn't wearing any kind of armor at the time of death. The victim and the defendant were in an intense argument. Perhaps she used the spell in a fit of rage. It was a crime of passion after all. Yeah, I don't know, but can't disprove it. She must have used it on her sword before stabbing the victim. Why would she go to the trouble of doing that? Her sword alone would have been enough to commit the murder. Mages are always looking for an excuse to throw their power around. It sounds like a lot of these people don't like mages. There's no rhyme or reason to it. Isn't that just your own personal bias, Commander? We don't need to understand why the defendant did what she did. The fact of the matter is that magic was present at the crime. And we're really just gonna avoid the motive. I guess that makes sense from the prosecution's perspective, but do you have any evidence of the contrary? No. That spell is the reason why there were traces of transmutation magic left on the wound. If she used a spell like that, wouldn't that have created traces of magic on the ground? How so? Well, let's say we follow the prosecution's theory. That would mean that the victim fell to the ground with the sword still in him. At this point, Mage Blade would still be active, right? Would definitely leave a magical trace on the ground after making physical contact with it. Okay. We're already way ahead of you. We had our people scan the crime scene, and we found traces of transmutation magic right underneath the body, just like you said. Oh. Oops. Still don't believe me. I have a picture of the crime scene right here. Oh, duh, but this is excellent. There was no need for the picture. The entire case is open and shut. Excellent. We got our evidence now. I've seen pictures of the dead before, but it feels different now that the body is of someone you knew. Looks like there are traces of magic on the ground. But this shape is a little weird, isn't it? Yeah. That's odd. It's like cast it on the sword, but also like an area of effect sort of thing. Oh, she's realized something. You can see it right in this photo. She killed him with a stab from the front. Let's take a closer look at the photo. It's this weird kind of jutting out bit. Stab to the front. But it's a radius of magic. Is that what it wants me to present? I'm wondering. Objection! Oh, Your Honor, it's clear that the witness's testimony is contradictory. This piece of evidence proves it. Uh-oh. I made a mistake. Oops. Alright, which, that spells the reason why there... okay, no, it's this one. It wants me to present here, because, yeah, there are traces of magic everywhere. Okay, never mind. Is it on her sword before stabbing the victim? This is the one thing about these types of games. Sometimes it can be a little bit unclear. Oh my goodness. No. And she can still be channeled through it. Spell called Mage Blade. In this photo, she killed him with a stab from the front. Okay, I guess we'll press it. If we knew the parameters of Mage Blade, that'd be best. Just press this real quick. Channel through her sword. The vast number of spells that operate like that. Spells in the School of Transmutation are always channeled through an object. Ah, okay. So, I mean, the line of logic goes that something is off because of the wide area of effect use of magic. It's not just where the sword landed. Killed him with a stab from the front. Okay. Yeah, I mean, he was killed him with a stab in the front. Was stabbed in the front. Where does it want me to present on this one? Offended over there. Spell Companion has a spell called Mage Blade. It's true that the sword itself isn't magical, but magic can still be channeled through it. Similar evidence to his testimony. I think I pressed all of these, so I should have what I need. Does it want me to present here? I really don't think so. Yeah. Interesting. This is autopsy report. Okay. It's just something wrong in the autopsy report and the details. So why does the picture show? Okay. Okay, okay, so understood. It doesn't want me to focus on the area of effective magic stuff right now, despite that being something that, well, I guess I don't know exactly how that works, but yes, okay. So, died after being stabbed from behind, and yet the image shows that he's being stabbed from the front. Okay, we got it. I gotta read those and pay more attention. I'm sorry, Commander White, but it seems that you presented another glaring contradiction. Oh yeah, and what's that? You said my client stabbed the victim from the front? Am I correct? Yeah, you can see it plain in the picture. So where's your contradiction? That's the thing, Commander. Your picture clearly shows that the victim was stabbed from the front, but the autopsy report says he died from a stab from behind. What?
Objection!
Orem, you were supposed to release everything that you had. Why wasn't this photo given to me? Oh, she's mad. There was no need. There's no way it could have been anyone other than that mage. Murmurs ring out across the gallery. It didn't matter how corrupt the justice system was. They wouldn't be able to cover up such blatant incompetence. You have them right where you want them. Order in the court. Mr. Cuthbert, what is the meaning of this? I'll tell you what the meaning behind this is, Your Honor. As the autopsy report states, the victim died from a stab wound originating from his back. But this photo clearly shows that the sword entered from his front. This can only mean one thing. The sword was inserted into the wound after the fatal wound had already been created. That's crazy. Do you honestly expect us to believe that? And please enlighten me, Commander White. How else would a sword be facing the opposite way? You think my client stabbed the victim with the hilt of the sword? I didn't think so. What really happened is clear. The real murderer stuck the sword through the victim's wound to implicate my client, but they made a careless mistake and stuck the sword through the opposite side. It appears that I underestimated you, Mr. Cuthbert, but you've still got it ahead of yourself. Okay, what do you got for us? Updated autopsy report? Really, Miss Steelwind? I believe that Mr. Cuthbert has adequately cast doubt on your case. Oh, did he now? Then let me ask you one question, Mr. Cuthbert. If your client didn't kill Flinthard McCoy, then who did? How should I know? If I'm not mistaken, it's the commander's job to figure that out. Oh, I'm well aware of the commander's incompetence. But one fact still stands. There was magic detected on the wound and the sword. Would you like for me to tell you how many mages live in that small town? You don't like where she's going with this. Just one. There's only one registered mage in that entire town. And that mage is your client. What? Impossible! They're using process of elimination in a small town. Surely there were no visitors to the town at that time. Impossible. The defendant was also established to have been with the victim hours before his death. She was the last known person with him, and she was the only mage there. In addition to that, I have several witnesses who heard them arguing. How she murdered the victim is simply an unanswered question. I see, that certainly does change matters. I can't say that the prosecution's evidence is irrefutable, but there is still evidence that casts guilt upon the defendant. Well, can't be that easy, right? There are far too many unanswered questions for me to pass a verdict. We will give law enforcement time to clear these unknowns. I suggest that they conduct their investigation more thoroughly this time. We will resume the trial tomorrow morning. Court is adjourned. Let's go. We survived the first day. Hello, Cuthbert. As you walk out of the courtroom with Celeste, you were greeted by Miss Tymora. Miss Tymora, you're here! You recall how you froze up during the first cross-examination. Feel a little ashamed that your mentor saw all of that. Well, at the end of the day, you were able to pull it together. And once you did that, you performed adequately. On that note, I wanted to give you this. The spell compendium! Woo! Mage Blade. Alright, let's take a look. Oh, that's the text log. Spell. Oh, clues. Compendium. Oh, thank you. It's not here yet. Okay, Mage Blade. School, Transmutation, Incantation, Arcane. Oh, okay. It's got like D&D style incantation, gesture, duration, concentration parts to it. Okay. For the duration of the spell, the edge of this object, usually a blade, become unnaturally sharp, making it more effective at slashing through tough material. While under the effects of the spell, the object emits a yellow radiant glow. The target object must be no larger than a 5-foot cube. Okay. I mean, the sword, maybe 5. I think that's fine. And I mean, she uses it on it normally, so no problem there. Duration 1 minute. Incantation Arcane. So it's a concentration spell, so she has to focus on the usage of it. Okay. My spell compendium. I swiped it from the dining area before the Inquisition arrived. Nice play. Thought it'd be best for you to have it. So this is your spell compendium, and it only has one spell. Mage Blade. This means that the prosecution has to prove that Celeste used that specific spell. It will restrict how they approach this case, which gives you an edge over them. But that prosecutor is really something else. You mean Prosecutor Steelwind? You can still remember her rippling glare. It gives you the chills just thinking about it. You wouldn't even know it, but this was also her first trial. Oh wait, really? I thought that her inexperience would make for a good first opponent. Okay, she has more poise than than I would normally expect from, a first-time prosecutor, but maybe that's just being compared to Tyrion, who feels like he has less of an idea of what he's doing. But that girl, she's a natural in the courtroom. It makes me wonder why a Steelwind would choose to become an attorney in the first place. What do you mean? The Steelwinds are a powerful noble house. Of the noble families, they are one of the few who answer directly to the king. Most members of their house take high-ranking positions in the kingdom's military, so it's a bit strange that she chose to become a prosecutor despite that. Steelwind. I feel like I've heard it somewhere before. In any case, it's best that you focus on the trial. You have about a day until court resumes. Right, now that I have the time, I'd like to ask you some questions, Celeste. Namely, about that argument you had with your father. Oh. Sad voice. See the bailiff staring daggers at Celeste. Looks like they're waiting to take her back to her cell. Whatever questions you have for her will have to wait. Oh, it's unfortunate. I should probably go. Celeste walks away while avoiding eye contact with you. Bringing up her argument with Flintheart may have struck a nerve. I mean, it was her foster father who just got murdered. Right, so a little bit of a touchy subject. Also use the opportunity to investigate the crime scene. Yes, that's what I want to see. I wouldn't be surprised if the Inquisition missed something. You utterly embarrassed them today. Don't expect them to make the same mistake twice. Right, there's still a lot of things we don't know about. As much as I hate to admit it, your skills of deduction far surpass mine. If anyone can figure out what really happened that night, it's you. Alright, how many save slots do we have? We can use this one over and over again. Episode 1-3, Cold-Hearted Aristocrat in McCoy Tavern. You arrive back at the McCoy Tavern. Luckily for you, the Inquisition set up a teleportation circle for you to use. Oh, that's fun. That's fun and convenient. Kind of makes it so that you can forego, just having a crime scene in one specific area go between a lot of different places. I like that. With that circle, you could magically teleport between the capital and the crime scene instantaneously. It's definitely miles better than having to travel by carriage. Oh, it's you. What are you doing here? Commander White takes notice of you as you enter the tavern. It looks like he's working with a team of knights to investigate the crime scene. Makes sense. I'm the defense attorney in this case. I have just as much right to investigate the crime scene as you do. Yeah, whatever. Just remember, I got my eye on you, kid. Alright. We can move, though. To the courthouse, Inquisition barracks, probably to question Celeste there. McCoy Tavern, upstairs. Okay. Any words for us first? Questions? Can I ask you some questions? Oh, okay, no. Saw who your boss is, and I know what you're up to. That witch probably sent you here to con me. Is she a witch? What? I'm just looking for some information. A likely story. He was cooperative before when he let you see Celeste. Why is he being so stubborn now? Is he angry that you embarrassed him in court today? In any case, he won't get anywhere at this rate. Alright, we'll have to persuade him through an argument. Okay. Helps to prepare. Present items to him to build a psychological profile for him. If you successfully fill the profile gauge, you'll receive more information during any arguments against him. Hey, check out my badge. What do you think about this? Okay. No words there. You want to take a look at the compendium? Spell compendiums are a magical device that displays exactly which spells a mage can cast. You can probably guess, but the Inquisition uses these things all the time. Yes, Commander Ormwise, show us your intellect. Would you please help a novice like myself with your vast skills and experience? No. Okay, didn't work. Bluff failed. Mage Blade? What do you think about this? Okay, nope. Autopsy report. The autopsy report seems pretty detailed in some aspects and vague in others. Why is that? I'm not sure about the details, but the autopsy is performed by a mage who studies divination. Their magic gives us details about how someone dies, but there's always a few blind spots. Like what? For one thing, if someone mucks around with the body after death, the report becomes muddled. Divination magic can tell us what happened to a body, but not in what order and at what times. That seems important for later on. What he's saying is true. It will be that much harder to figure out what kind of weapon originally killed him. Sword. Your sword is really strange. It's almost a shame we had to confiscate it. It's really that abnormal. It's definitely not like any kind of sword I've seen. I wonder if it was forged in the Eastern Kingdoms. Looks like the psychological profile is not building. You know what? I gotta find objects around here and then present those to him. Yes. Excellent painting. A painting of a man in a suit. There's some text on it. Oh. Adam Everley, politician of the pedantic. Yes. The brushwork and the strokes that this painter used. Oh, yes, clearly one of a high standing and great worth and merit. I've heard of this guy. He's some kind of politician from one of the nations west of here. I heard he's pretty much a shoo-in to win whatever election they have going there. An election? Was Flintheart studying democracies for his little revolution? Alright, let's look at the body, where the body was. The chalk outline. Okay, matches the picture, great, nothing out of place. Alright, fine. What about the bottle? Broken bottle on the floor, shattered close to the chalk outline. Lotus juice. Okay, never heard of that brand before, it must be foreign. Shattered remains of a glass bottle. Found it next to Flintheart McCoy's body. The label says the words lotus juice. Shattered bottle of lotus juice added to notes. Any more details than that? No. Interesting. Anything about tables? Not using the lamps. Modern looking lamp mounted on the wall. And powered by an artificery. Pretty sophisticated. It's another form of magic. Actually, artificery draws from the surrounding ley lines to... I didn't ask for a sides lesson, kid. Anyways, look where the artificery got these folks. The arcane power cell broke and they haven't any power for weeks. Yep, nothing can beat good old oil and flame. Yes, oil and flame, blood and stone. Okay, so no power. Got it. Anything else to investigate here? This painting. It's a painting of a mage, and there's some text on it. Samala Doglian, a legendary practitioner of the arcane arts, he mysteriously disappeared one day. Why does Flintheart have this hung up here if he hates mages? New transmutation spell. However, he was reckless, lost control of its magic, his body was never found. Many speculate he didn't actually die during the accident, but if that's true, where did he end up? Okay. Ah, okay, tail against using magic. Got it, okay. Anything about the Inquisition for me? What do you do exactly? You trying to pick a fight with me? No, I'm just curious. Okay. Investigate crimes that involve magic. Do they happen often? No, once in a blue moon. Most mages are the nobility. Okay. Even if they're untouchable, they don't make a good habit of getting into trouble with the law. It's an easy job. The only reason we exist is to clean up the nobility's messes. Yeah, okay. Oh, that fills that. Okay, mages? You seem to speak negatively about my client's magic. Do you have a personal grudge against mages? Oh, he does. Okay. If you had any sense, you would too. All that a mage has to do is wave their hands and say some magic nonsense. Then you suddenly have a dead body on the ground. And don't get me started on mage blight. Some noble uses their magic too much, they end up snapping and going on a rampage. I don't know if this is going too far, but why join the Inquisition if you hate mages so much? Considering the fact that, that my job is to sweep the nobility's crimes under the rug. No, if you have the right of it, anytime a noble is involved in a case, I'm ordered to look the other way. You don't seem very happy to do that. Why would you stay in this line of work? Because every once in a while, I'm allowed to put a criminal mage behind bars. We can't go after the nobles, but any other mage is fair game. Or at least they were before your boss showed up. Your boss? Does he have something against Miss Timora? Well, sure seems that way. A little bit more. Something happened between you and her? Miss Timora, what are you, her lackey or something? No, actually, she's my guardian. Oh, I didn't even know she had Look, kid, I don't know what the deal is between you two, but no good will ever come from associating with her. This is about the rumors, isn't it? Throughout the years, there have been several insidious rumors surrounding Miss Timora. She's been accused of forgery, blackmail, and all manner of illegal activities. Tyrion, you gotta choose your guardian a little bit better, man. Clearly misinformation spread by the nobility to discredit her. I don't know, we'll see about that, man. We'll see. She's always been fine with it, but you can't help but get angry on her behalf. Well, it's more than just rumors. I've seen it for myself. That woman is evil, kid. She defends mages who don't have the protection of the nobility. She's not evil. She's a hero. Yeah, whatever. Alright. Now we can argue, huh? Help. Not just because you embarrassed him in court today. Some sort of misunderstanding. Alright, argument. Alright, I'm just gonna come out and say it. Do you have a problem with me, Commander White? You should know exactly what my problem is with you. I saw who you work for. Do I have to spell it out for you? Ruby Timora is a crooked lawyer. Or does your boss not tell you what she gets up to? Arguments are not always fought using hard evidence. Sometimes you need to elucidate to convince your opponent that their claim is wrong. When prompted, choose from one of the three possible responses. The correct response can be gleaned from reading your opponent's psychological profile. No right to throw baseless accusations against me. Regardless of what she's done, I'm heading the case. That seems good. Doesn't matter how you feel about me or Miss Timora. What matters is that my client deserves a fair trial with fair representation. Let's check the profile. Stubborn, stuck in his ways, grudge against Ruby Timora, and will react negatively if you try to defend her. However, he will respect you if you defend yourself against personal attacks. Okay, well, it says defend. So I'm gonna defend. Whatever you think she's done, you're wrong. Okay. Yeah, that didn't go the way I wanted it to. I thought maybe deflecting was more right, but it said defend here. I thought it was handing me one. I'm the one heading this case. Whatever problems you have with her, this has nothing to do with me. It still doesn't change the fact that you work for her. I've seen that woman do all kinds of shady stuff on the cases I've worked. Forgery, bribery, blackmail, you name it. You're just another crook. I'll bet you're just the same, a successor for the devil of defense attorneys. I'm not Ruby Timora. Regardless of what you've seen her do, I'm going to run an honest case. Let's go! Look, kid. I'd like nothing more than to believe you. But after everything I've seen her do, I know better. I have no reason to trust you. Anyone taught by that woman can't be anything more than a crook. Okay, this one's a little bit more tricky. No proof she's a crook, and you sure don't have any proof that I'm a crook either. I think that's gonna make him unnecessarily... That's a little bit leaning into the Ruby Timora aspect of things. And clearly he's, you know, against her, so I don't know if I want to touch that. Nothing I've done has given you any reason to suspect me. Or rationalize. Have you seen me engage in any crook-like behavior? Let's go rationalize here. Way of teaching me was ruthless, I'll give you that. But the only thing that she taught me was how to practice law. Have you seen me engage in any crook-like behavior? Let's go! Word argument master. You just want some info, right? Yeah, that's all I'm asking for. Alright, I'll answer your questions. Just don't make me regret this. You successfully persuaded Orem White. Alright. Murder weapon. I don't believe the sword is the murder weapon. Right, I guess you have to prove that someone else put the sword there. Anything else suspicious? No other bloody weapon. Yeah, too convenient. But let's say the girl really is being framed. If there was another murder weapon, the killer probably walked out with it. Do you think they could have hidden it somewhere in the tavern? Doubt it. After the trial, Steelwind turned the place upside down and scanned it with her magic. Yeah, it wouldn't make sense for the weapon to be hidden on the scene. I think the murder weapon, that's just gonna be a dead end. Someone did hide a murder weapon here, they hid it well. Or they hid it in plain sight. Okay. That's another aspect. Okay. Could be that they use something in here that just naturally works and is a normal part of the environment. That's also something else. Enormous mistake. Hey, Tyrion, cool your jets, my man. Oh, shut up with that. I already got an earful from Steelwind about that mess. Well, you don't have to worry about me mucking things up. Steelwind's basically taken over the entire investigation. Wait, does she have the authority to do that? Normally she wouldn't, but I know better than to go against her orders from a noble. Right. Yeah, the power dynamic is interesting because she's a noble, so she's really gonna get her way on a lot of things. Like this, probably. But honestly, that girl sweats the details too much. She even had my men draw up a scaled map of the crime scene. Ooh, can we have a little look? Can I have a peek at that? Oh, excellent. McCoy Tavern. Yes, maps, map view. Oh, it's got the... Excellent. Okay, so I'll have to keep in mind 5, 10, 15, 20, 20, 30, 35, 40, 40, 45 feet wide. Not sure if the length is going to matter. Keep that in mind though, as it's got the unit of measurement there. Arya Steelwind. I heard this is Prosecutor Steelwind's first trial. She must be pretty talented if that's true. Pain in my ass is what she is. That noble coming in here telling me how to do my job. I honestly have no idea what she's even doing in this line of work. Heard that she's from a renowned noble house. She must be a pretty powerful mage. Powerful is an understatement. Okay, turn the entire town into a glass crater. Alright. No murder weapon to be found. No obvious evidence of another person at the scene. Hey, you okay? You got quiet all of a sudden. Alright, focus. Oh, we're going into thinking mode. So there's no clear evidence pointing to another killer. There is, however, evidence pointing to how Flintheart moved before his death. What? What can we tell about how Flintheart died? There's no blood trail leading to or from the body. What does this imply about the location of Flintheart's death? What can we tell about how Flintheart died? Flintheart didn't move after the murder. No blood trail where Flintheart's body is. The lack of a blood trail tells us something important, namely where Flintheart was throughout the murder. Lack of a blood trail. Like, his body wasn't moved, so he didn't move after the murder, but that's not what we're looking at here. The killer attacked Flintheart. No, that's not gonna work. The one during. Okay, it wants during. It's not talking about moving the body. It's talking about he was murdered and then fell to the ground there. Okay, got it. Flintheart died where he was attacked. He didn't move from his position at all. Yeah, I guess you're right. There's also an autopsy report which says he died from a stab wound from behind. He was probably caught off guard and was too incapacitated to move anywhere else. Makes sense. Exact position where he fell over. Okay, map updated. Yes, show me the map. Victim. There he is. It's also the shattered bottle of lotus juice. How did the bottle shatter? I doubt it means anything, but the shattered bottle is right next to the body. Okay, he probably dropped the bottle during the attack. Yeah. And that we can infer that he was holding it the moment before he was attacked. Yes, holding this bottle, dropped it. What's so strange about one bottle, though? It may seem like an insignificant detail, but that detail could help me infer other elements of what happened during the murder. It's also the fact that the artificery lights were out. Were these candles here before you arrived with the crime scene orb? No, we had to light some so we could see the crime scene properly. Okay, you know, as we know, it was dark during the crime. We thought it was weird, too. The girl and her father must have had their argument in pitch black darkness. What can we infer about the state of the crime scene? Alright, so the crime scene had no lighting during the murder. Oh, we get the broken power cell here. Okay. So this is the evidence that we can prevent to say, hey, there were no lights on. The argument that Celeste had with Flintheart must have been spontaneous. They weren't planning to have a conversation in this room. In this darkness, Flintheart wouldn't have a lot of visibility. If he was stabbed from behind, he probably didn't see it coming. Clearly surprised, couldn't run away. Bottle may seem insignificant, but he was holding it when he was attacked. Maybe he was pouring a drink for himself, or maybe it was for a visitor. Either way, the assailant must have been unseen by Flintheart. Gid? Or the assailant attacked him from his blind spot while his back was turned. Why would his back be turned, though? Was he distracted by something? Gid! What was that all about? Sorry, sometimes I just get lost in my own thoughts. He entered his hyper-focused brain memory mode. He's calculating the crime. Beep, 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 beep. Transmitting crime information. Oh, cut it out. You're freaking me out. Anyways, you think you found everything you can here. You should move somewhere else. Okay, we're moving. Let's go upstairs. People keep seeing you here. They're going to start asking questions. Leave the investigation to me. All you have to do is stay quiet until the trial is over. Oh, who's she talking to? Oh, it's Killer Man. It's Mr. Guy who killed the murdered victim. Enough. I will do as I see fit. You may be a Steelman, but this is my land. Oh, sorry. Oh, you're that defense attorney from the trial. I am. I'm sorry, but who? Ah, how rude of me. My name is Lord Garrick Pierce, the ruling noble of this land. Occupation nobleman. As the ruling noble, I suppose I should thank you for playing your role in the current trial, as misguided as it may be. Alright, mister. Yeah, you keep smirking for now. Let's see if you're still smirking 3 hours from now. I suppose you also think my client is guilty. It does not matter what I think. This entire scandal has done nothing but rile up the common folk. Magic is a gift for the nobility, and the nobility alone. It is a symbol of the aristocracy and our divine right to rule. The child is stated that symbol in the public eye. All of that has nothing to do with her. She's just an innocent woman who got wrapped up in all this. Even if she is innocent, the charges have been laid and made public. Someone must take the fall, lest the public accuse the justice system of corruption. Arcane art transmutation. The person was killed by transmutation magic. So you're saying she should be found guilty even if she's innocent? What do you suppose will happen if she's acquitted? All the public will see is a mage going free despite a myriad of evidence. That alone would be enough to cause a public outrage. Tensions between the aristocracy and the common folk are high enough as is. What is one insignificant girl when compared to the stability of our great kingdom? That's... Alright, stop antagonizing him, Pierce. Humph. Alright. Can't refute what he said, but I don't agree with it. Arya Steelwind. System should be based on truth and justice, not on public opinion. Then why are you working against my client? Do you honestly think she's the kind of person that would kill her father? Doesn't matter what kind of person she appears to be. The evidence clearly points to her as the only possible killer. But you should fight accordingly to your own ideals. Well, you know, this is a bit of a boon here. Because she is not the type of prosecutor that will probably do underhanded tactics and that sort of thing. So that's a blessing there. Just as I will fight for mine. It's hard to get a read on that woman. Anything to examine here? Guest rooms, room at the back. It's locked. Okay. Someone might have a key. Candles in the hallway. Okay, that's about it for what we can check here. Let's go talk with Celeste. Get some info. Return to the cell that Celeste is being kept in. Oh, we're getting emotioned by the people in prison. Poor Tyrion. Best to ignore the emotions of the other prisoners, but you haven't had much practice blocking out this many people. As you arrive, you see Celeste huddled down in a corner. Oh, hi, Mr. Cuthbert. There's no need to address me so formally. Just call me Tyrion. Okay. Anyways, I came here to ask you some questions about the case. Right. The trial. I'm sorry for freezing up like that. Almost lost us the trial. You did great. Well, we came together in the end, but the beginning was a little shaky. Still don't understand, though. Why were there traces of magic on my dad's body? Right, those traces of magic were on the sword and the body. Magical traces are particles of magic residue that are left behind when a mage casts a spell. They only linger around for 48 hours, and that gives you a rough timeline of when and where a spell was cast. Okay. Magic 48-hour time frame. Got it. Did you cast a mage blade on your sword that day? I did. I usually cast it when I train in the morning. That explains why there was a trace on the sword, at least. Did the trace on my sword leave the magical trace on my dad's body? No, magical traces can't be moved around physically. For a spell to leave a trace, it has to be active when the physical contact is made. Okay. So, that means that the sword, for there to be a trace on it, that's perfectly fine. But it's not going to spread that trace because it doesn't have magic actively flowing through it. Whoever killed your father had a transmutation spell active on it at the time. The magical trace on your sword was just an unlucky coincidence. I can't believe this. That's good news for us and for the trial at least. Can you tell me more about your father? Oh no. Sadness. Distress. Sorry, I know this must be difficult after everything that happened. No, it's okay. Try my best. Okay, were you too close? We were. Sure you know this by now, but I was adopted. But even though I didn't have their blood, they treated me as if I did. Okay, then something happened. Oh, a little bit about the argument. I could hear your argument from my room that night. Can you tell me about what happened? For as long as I can remember, my dad has hated mages. I'm not sure why, but if he even mentioned magic around him, he'd fly into a rage. So I hid my magic from my family. But why even learn magic in the first place? If you really wanted to, you could have gone your whole life without using it. Ever since our tavern closed, my family's been in a lot of debt. I decided to become a mercenary and use magic to enhance my ability to fight. Most mages are in the nobility, so people will pay a lot for a sellsword who can use magic. Makes sense. Okay. So that's why she's a mercenary. Support our family is a mercenary. Apparently many people are paying extra for a mercenary that can use magic. But I know now, learning magic was the biggest mistake I've ever made. On that night, my dad found my spell compendium. When he confronted me about it, I finally came clean to him. That's when he flew into another one of his rages. He shouted at me. He told me that I'd betrayed him and his family. I'm so sorry. I can't imagine how that must have felt. I deserved every bit of it. I don't know. I don't know if that's deserved. There's just this... Well, I don't know if you can call it an arbitrary hatred of magic, just because most of the people that use it stem from nobles, and in the nobility, you know, the common folk, that's not really... They're not really going to be too happy with nobles based on kind of the economy and the wealth dynamic of the game so far between the nobles, the walled cities, and the outskirts. Anything outside of that. So I guess in that case it's a symbol of, you know, the nobility's power in a sense. He showed me so much love until I just threw it all away. Don't say that, I'm sure he still loved you. No, I could see it in his eyes. He hated me, and he died hating me. Yikes, that's rough. Locked door. Locked room in the tavern. I just wanted to investigate it. I think that's my room. Do you know how I could get in there? It's the only room in the tavern that I haven't investigated. Tyrion. What's that look for? I'm your lawyer. I'm not gonna do anything weird. Sorry, you're right. Here, you can use this key to get inside. Alright. That's all for that. Hey, how do you like my badge? Oh. Okay. We don't like the badge. Celeste's bedroom. Move to location. Okay, however, you startle when you notice that someone else is already inside. Oh, what was this? I already told you knights everything that I know. What more do you... Oh, aren't you Celeste's attorney? I am. Who are you? Oh, how rude of me. I'm Jolene McCoy. I'm Celeste's mother. Okay. Patient unemployed. Arcane art none. Was at the trial this morning. I can't thank you enough for everything that you've done for my daughter. So this is Celeste's mother. She may be able to tell you more about Flintheart. About that. Do you mind if I ask you some questions? Excellent. A little bit about Flintheart first. Why did he hate the mages? Yeah, associated with the nobility. But on that night, it was like he was furious at Celeste specifically because she was a mage. Oh, you must have talked to Celeste. I wasn't there when their argument happened. You know what happened to him? Why does he hate magic so much? Celeste doesn't know about this, but years ago Flintheart had a sister named Effie. When we were all children, we were friends with a boy named Garrick Pierce. Garrick Pierce, the noble of the land, perhaps? Son of the ruling noble at the time. Yes, we were all inseparable. He'd always sneak into town and play with us against his family's wishes. Quite rebellious, but completely different now. Sad. Everything changed when Garrick began to learning how to use magic. One day when we were playing together, he wanted to show off the spells that he had learned. He was told not to use his magic without his instructor there, but he was just too excited. He began casting. Something went horribly wrong. He began casting over and over, shooting out magic everywhere, lost control. Oh no, fatally wounded Effie. Oh, okay. That's not great. That's, yeah, the Arcane Inquisition, and they covered it up. Okay, interesting. And that's where his hatred of magic comes from. Man. Mauled by a wolf. Okay, yeah, the nobility really doesn't seem great from the little that we know about them up to this point. Incident involving a Garrick Pierce and his magic. Okay. Something changed in Flintheart after that, and he began speaking out against the nobility. Eventually, he started hosting rallies in this very tavern. A lot of people under his banner. Almost a revolution. Explains why someone would go out of the way to kill him, and provides a motive for Mr. Garrick Pierce. Could convince him to stop. His attitude didn't even begin to change until he adopted Celeste. Tell me a little bit more about Celeste McCoy now. How did she become a part of your family? It all happened many years ago, back when the McCoy Tavern was still open. Closing, baby with white hair in the dining area. White hair. Nah, it's a little bit different. Okay, I was thinking maybe a little connection, but could still be. I don't know. Feel like it would make sense for Garrick to do that. Let's say hypothetically, okay, Celeste McCoy is actually Garrick Pierce's daughter, and then she's dropped off at the tavern because they were inseparable as kids, and he knows that she'll be taken care of there. I think that's within the realm of possibility. We did weeks for her parents to come by, but no one ever came looking, and that baby was Celeste? Yes. Flintheart and I always wanted a child. It must have been a gift from the Scaled Lord. Oh, but she knew about her magic. So she was abandoned from the nobility. Didn't care. Okay. You knew that she was a mage? I did. You haven't known her very long, but she's a terrible liar. Flintheart must have noticed too, but I think he didn't want to believe it. It's my fault. I should have forced him to see the truth. Well, that's a difficult situation. Flintheart and Celeste. Spoke with Celeste earlier. She thinks that her father hated her because she was a mage. No, yeah. That's not gonna be the case. So that kind of clears that up. Excellent. Unfortunate that he's been murdered, though. A story. Celeste had just returned from her travels. This foreign drink that she loved, the lotus juice. Flintheart got it shipped here, but he was only able to get a single bottle. Wouldn't be surprised if it were the only bottle of lotus juice in the region. Okay, the shattered bottle next to his body. Well, in the dining area, they were found. He'd been keeping it in her room so she wouldn't find it. When was the last time you saw it? Right before I left the house that night. It's right before their big argument. So it wasn't just laying around in the bar. Went to go retrieve it after the argument. Ah, okay. He was probably going to apologize. Oh no. Okay. One last conversation with Celeste. At the Inquisition, right? Yes. Oh, you're back. Did you forget something? One last thing. Earlier you said something that I just can't let go. You said that your father died hating you, but after everything I heard about him, I don't think that's true. Desperately want to reach her. If she keeps believing that he hated her, the thought will eat away at her for the rest of her life. You know that better than anyone. He's just lying to make me feel better. Okay, we'll need to argue. Alright, give me the argument. Start argument. Yes, commence. Activate Tyrion argument mode. I know you're just trying to make me feel better, and I really do appreciate it, but everyone knows that my father hated mages. He's always hated magic. There's no reason behind it. We gotta present the story. Yep. The reason why he hated the magic. With his younger sister being killed. I never knew, but that doesn't change anything. That's all more reason for him to hate me. It was selfish of me to learn magic. I knew how much he hated magic, but I still learned to use it anyways. Magic killed someone that he loved. No wonder he was furious. Selfish of me to learn magic. No. No, because people will pay extra, so there's reasoning behind it. You didn't learn magic to benefit yourself, did you? You learned it to save your family after your tavern was shut down. You're a good person, Celeste, and you did everything you could to help your family. I'm sure your father recognized that. Just shut up. Shut up. Just stop it. Oh, no. She's throwing a tantrum. You weren't there. You didn't hear what he said to me. In his final moments, he could only think of how I betrayed him. I could see it in his eyes. There's no way he would ever forgive me. The lotus juice. Take a look at this picture, Celeste. What? A shattered bottle. Wait, is that a bottle of lotus juice? Do you know where I found this? On the floor of your family's inn. What? That can't be true. I tried to find it here, but no one sells it in Wyvern. Your father knew how much you loved this drink. He called in quite a few favors just so he could have it imported for you. What? He did that? Your father didn't hate you, Celeste. He loved you more than anything. That doesn't change anything. If he did all that for me, it was before he knew about my secret. I'm sure he never would have done that if he knew the truth. That's not true at all. What would you know about him? You barely even knew him. How could you possibly know how he felt about me? Don't you think I want to believe that he still loved me before he died? But I know the truth. There's no way he would ever forgive me for what I did. It's not just the fact that he bought that drink for you. It's also where the bottle was when it shattered. Your mother said that the bottle was stowed in her room before your argument, but I found the shattered bottle in the lobby where his body was. I ran into him before I went to look for you. He was going upstairs to his room. That can only mean one thing. He went to retrieve the bottle after your argument ended. Why would he have it? It's because he was going to give it to you, Celeste. He was going to give it to you as a gift to apologize for what he said to you. Oh... As tragic as it is, he was going to try to apologize to you before he was murdered. I don't like this. My daughter working as a mercenary of all things. You know I can handle myself. I don't doubt it. But you still shouldn't have to risk your neck for our sakes. They closed the inn, Dad. We won't be able to survive unless I do this. Just be careful, okay? I don't know what I'd do if anything happened to you. No matter what anyone says, you're our daughter, and we'll love you until the day we die. Oh. Let's go. She's seen reason. Reconciling with the previous events. Oh. Caught off guard and feel a little embarrassed, but you comfort her while she vents her emotions. Argument 1. Excellent. Are you feeling better? Yeah, I think I'm okay now. I've been thinking such horrible things this entire time. Probably the first smile you've seen on her genuinely smile since the whole ordeal started. Thank you, but is everything really going to be okay? I'll make sure of it. I'll get justice for you and your father. Doesn't matter who stands in my way, even if they're a man, king, or god. You're completely different now. What happened to the nervous wreck from before? Please forget about that. Anyways, take some time to rest. The trial is going to resume soon. With that, you've done everything you can for now. You've learned a lot about what happened the night of the murder. You just hope it's enough. But even with your investigation, you still don't know what the prosecution has planned. Has Pierce told you all of the details, Mr. Rudolph? Will you remember them? Yes, I pride myself on my eidetic memory. Just so there are no misunderstandings. I do not approve of this. You said it yourself, Lady Steelwind. There's no possible way that I could have done the deed. It has to be the bastard child. We don't know what sort of tricks a Ruby Timora might pull tomorrow. Just see this as a way of securing a just verdict. Wow, you're really being... Oh my god. You're really being overwhelmed by this noble person? And you're bringing in a false witness? Oh, I misjudged her. Okay. Well, we're gonna save, and I think that'll end things for now. And probably next time I play this, we'll finish off case 1, I would say. I think we just have the trial component left. So, you know, that will be it. Can I go main menu? Let's exit. Main menu, return to title screen. Alright. Jazz music here is a bop. Okay, I think that'll do it for now. So I think I'll probably stream something tomorrow, starting same time around, maybe a little bit earlier, starting at 3 Pacific time. Maybe this game, maybe something else. I've got Disco Elysium that I wanted to try out, so I might stream that. But that'll end things off. Thanks for watching, and we'll be back tomorrow.